Janie nervously paced up and down the floor of her living room. Bill was late for their date again. She liked Bill when she met him 2 months ago. But now she was getting tired of him. It wasn't because he was late all the time. The problem was that he wasn't too interesting. To tell the truth, he was very boring. Maybe I should tell him tonight that I don't want to go out with him anymore, Janie thought to herself. Then she heard a car screeching as it stopped outside. She looked out the window. It was raining so hard it was difficult to see, but she was able to recognize Bill's car at the curb. Janie quickly put on her coat. Then she hurried up outside, slamming at the door behind her. By the time she got to the car, her coat was drenched from the rain. "I'll wonder how long this storm will last," Janie said to herself, as Bill came up to meet her. Bill opened the car door. "I'm sorry I'm late," he apologized, "but I couldn't help it." "We better hurry," as got into the car. "First let me tell you what happened," said Bill, as he sat down behind her. "You can tell me on the way," Janie said impatiently. Bill stopped on the gas pedal and headed for the country. Having a party at the farmhouse about 20 miles away was a little unusual, but it was better than staying at home watching Star Wars again, he thought. "I don't know how to begin," Bill said. The whole thing was so strange. "What was strange?" Janie asked. "The reason you were late." "Yes," said Bill. "You see, I got home early from work, so I decided to lie down and read the newspaper." "And you fell asleep?" Janie said. "How did you know that?" Bill asked, looking surprised. "That's not the first time you've done that," said Janie. "What happened then?" "I had the weirdest dream," said Bill. "I dreamed that there was a terrible storm. It was actually a tornado." "A tornado," said Janie. "We had a tornado warning a few hours ago. I heard it on the radio." "Really?" said Bill. "That's weird, too." Anyway, a flying saucer suddenly flew out the tornado. It was large and had flashing lights. The saucer stopped outside my window and some people got out. Janie shivered slightly as she looked out the window at the dark, shadowy countryside. "What did the people look like?" she asked. "They don't look like anyone I've ever seen before," said Bill. Janie tried to look outside, but it was raining so hard she had trouble seeing beyond the windshield. "Bill," she said, "maybe you should wait until we get to the party you tell me the rest of your dream." Bill sighed, looked closely at the road, and concentrated on driving. Janie stared out the window again. It was not raining hard as before, but the wind had increased. She saw branches flying across the road. Now and then a few branches were hurled against the car. She could hear them hitting the roof and the windshield. Bill began to drive more slowly. Then he turned into a country lane. "Are you sure this is the right road?" asked Janie. "It's so dark out here." "How do you know where to drive?" "I know," said Bill. "I was at a party here last year." "You were?" Janie asked. Bill smiled and continued driving. Tell me more about your dream, Bill, Janie said. Oh sure, he said. I never had a dream that seemed so real. It's some funny-looking people exited from the flying saucer and told me to follow them. I did what I said. Where did you go? I went inside the flying saucer, Bill said. When I went inside, there was another me there. He was a replacement, they said. A replacement for me. A replacement, said Janie. Yes. You know, someone who looks and talks exactly like I do. Janie held back a laugh. Are you telling me that I'm going out with a replacement tonight? She asked. How would I know? Asked Bill. Would I really know if I'm a replacement? Janie said, you probably wouldn't know if you were a robot. But if you weren't a robot, you'd know that you were someone from space, that you were a replacement who was here in disguise. Hey, Janie, that's good. I didn't realize that you knew so much about this space stuff. How many times have we watched Star Wars together? She asked. Bill grinned as Janie said, but I have a question for you. Why would you be replaced? Why you all of all people? Bill thought for a moment and answered, maybe it's because I'm so interested in space. You know, maybe I could communicate with them or something like that. Maybe, Janie said softly to herself. Or maybe, she thought, that it's because you're not interesting. No one really pays attention to you. If space people filled the Earth with people like you, the Earth would never know it until it was too late. Hey, said Bill, as he turned the car sharply to avoid a branch in the road, maybe all of us are going to be replaced tonight. Stop it right now, Janie said. I've heard enough of that kind of talk. A few minutes later there were lights in the clearing ahead. Then they saw the outline of an old farmhouse against the dark sky. Bill said, I forgot to tell you something about the people in the flying saucer. They each had 3 eyes. They had 2 eyes where we have ours. Then they had an extra eye in the middle of the foreheads. Bill started to laugh. That was funny, I tell you. Janie looked at Bill. He was still laughing as he drove along. Bill had the strangest sense of humor. They had 3 eyes. What was so funny about that? Bill parked in a place between 2 other cars. They heard music and laughter coming from the house. Bill turned off the engine. Well, he said, let's go inside and see if our replacement are here. Then he tried to laugh like one of those monsters on TV. He got out of the car and walked around to Janie's side. Suddenly, Janie couldn't stand it any longer. She was tired of Bill. She was tired of being with him, tired of pretending to be somebody else. She wanted to be with someone more like herself, someone she could really talk to. She knew what she had to do. As Bill opened the car door, Janie said softly to him, Hey, Bill. Do you want to see something funny? She reached up to her forehead, pushed away her hair, and quickly pulled off a flat bandage. Bill stared in shock of Janie's forehead. He stared at the third eye there.